What is up, guys? It's your boy Nathan, and welcome to UFC 286 preview. Leon Edwards versus KAMARU Usman, the trilogy. It's finally happening. UFC London. It's about, I don't know, about 36 hours away from it, I would say, roughly speaking. And there's a lot of pressure on this one. Leon Edwards in his hometown. All eyes on him. And it's very interesting what's going to happen in this matchup. Sorry guys, I'm just checking out something quickly before we continue. Yeah, I saw the pre-fight press conference, and it was very interesting indeed. And we had I believe we had some interesting takeaways from it, at least in my point of view, with regards to the mentality of the players, the fighters, I should say. So yeah, that was a very interesting take. I thought a lot of confidence coming out of Rocky Edwards, and quite confidence coming out from KAMARU Usman. Almost like you don't really know what's going on with him, because the question is, I suppose, can he recover from it? Right? Can he recover from that head kick he had eaten from Leon Edwards? You know, when probably dominating 3-1 in 5-round fight. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens, man. Vaibhav's here. What's up, Vaibhav? Excuse me. So I was just thinking about that while I was getting ready for the stream. I was seeing the body language, and sometimes the body language doesn't really tell you anything about it. Sometimes it tells you everything. And Leon Edwards, you know, came out like he came out during the second fight, just wearing a regular t-shirt, pants, you know, like he can't be bothered. And KAMARU Usman looking dressed to the nines, lovely suit on, ready for it, dressed like a champion, as they like to say. And can you take anything away from that? Probably not, because Usman dressed up well for the second fight too, and I don't think there was much of a difference really, because it looked like, if anything, it feels like you get a little bit of deja vu because of what was said in the press conference as well. But forget the press conference. We're here for the preview. It's just that I wanted to watch it because I was curious to see his mindset, because Usman's not been doing a lot of interviews heading into this trilogy. So I was just curious to watch it. But let's set the table, shall we? The table is headlining the main event in London. Leon Edwards, current defending champion, taking on KAMARU Usman, the man who he unseated from the welterweight throne. KAMARU Usman was on the way to do historic things, winning his first 16 straight fights, would have tied Anderson Silva, but didn't work out that way. Leon Edwards had something to say about that. Leon Edwards now himself in the longest win streak in the division. I think it's at 11 right now, unbeaten. Looking to put a stamp on the trilogy once and for all, and to make sure that this was no mistake on his part. So we'll just start going through it. I was just looking at the card up and down, and there were some interesting fights. This card is very stacked. The starting fight is Juliana Killer Miller, who won the recent edition of the Women's Ultimate Fighter, taking on Veronica Hardy, who's the wife of Dan the Outlaw Hardy. And needless to say, the card just goes up and up from there. We have Joanne Wood, long-time flyweight contender, versus Luana Carolina, who's in a bit of a skid in London. England is proven to be quite unlucky for her personally. in a fighting sense. We have Lerone Murphy taking on Gabriel Santos. We have Muhammad Mokhayev taking on Jafel Filiu. What does 286 mean? 286 is the name of the card, dude. That's the number. It's the number. These cards are numbered, so you can. So it's like the 208. You could say it's the 286th pay-per-view for it. So that's how you determine which fight card is different from the others. It's normally a number and then the names are given. That's how you can separate it from what it is. Hello, hello. So Mohammad Mukhayev, flyweight prospect, born in Dagestan, raised in Manchester. He is a fantastic fighter right now, and in flyweight, he's 3-0 right now in the UFC. He is very. What is the upper limit of the? No, there isn't. It's just as the numbers go, dude. That's it. It's just landmarking the events, really. That's it. Next month, the next pay-per-view will be 287, then 288, 289. Then the smaller cards in between. These are basically the marquee cards of the year. If you see a number next to it, it'll be a marquee card. So yes, as you can see, he is in his last 3 fights in the UFC. He's won 2 by submission, 1 by unanimous decision. Absolutely has racked up the record 9-0, 9-0 and 1 contest in 10 fights. He's 5'7". He's only get a load of this, guys. He's only 22 years old. He's going to be 23 in July, and he is shooting up the rankings at the moment. Absolutely shooting up the rankings. That's going to be a good one, no matter what. So that's not even on the main card. Arpit, I want to start watching UFC. Is there any video or documentary where I can learn about the rules and stuff? First of all, Arpit, it was a nice comeback on the other stream, dude. That was quite funny. At least for me, I found that quite funny. So this is the thing, Arpit. You just I'll tell you what you should do. Forget the video and documentaries and rules. Watch fights, and when people recommend you to watch certain other fighters fight, go back in time and then watch it. But right now, you should just watch the fights, turn on the commentary, try to see what they're doing and try to understand what they're doing, because they will explain it to you. There is a play-by-play commentator always in the commentary box. There are 3 commentators normally. One of them is always a play-by-play. So they will give you insight as you're watching the match. The rules you can just type anywhere, dude. And the fighters, you should always go via recommendations if you want to watch. But what I would say is, Arpit, you want to start getting into it, just start watching it. Because quite honestly, that is how I learned. I didn't do anything special. I just started watching it. If you want, you can join me tomorrow at 2:30 in the morning. One of the reasons very difficult to follow the sport, Arpit, is because the timings are terrible. The only upside is we get it for free, whereas everyone else has to pay a lot of money for these cards. So if you want, you can join along with me and we can chat and we can talk and stuff like that, and we can get through it together. But what I would say is just start watching, dude. Just start watching, turn on the commentary, just try to absorb what they're saying as it goes along. You should get a little in tune with it, because the rules are there's too many rules are there. There's an actual rule book, which you don't need to know all the rules, really. You don't really need to know. There are illegal strikes, groin kicks, eye pokes. These are fish hooking, where you put your finger into your mouth. These are all illegal. You can get deducted a point. You can't take direct shots to the back of your head or through the base of the spine. Those can be disqualifications. Based on, you can get disqualified. You can lose the match that way. So yeah, there are many ways to win a fight. You can win by knockout. You can use your elbows, your kicks, your knees, and your punches. You can use submissions, which you learn in, I don't know if you know any grappling arts, but you can learn submissions through judo and jujitsu, where choke holds and limb locks, arm locks, leg locks, to break your hand. Obviously they don't break it. You can tap before you break your hand, but these are some of the ways you can win fights by. Not to mention the different Not to mention the different ways you can win fights. You can win with different kinds of punches, different kinds of kicks. So it's a very dynamic sport. There's many ways to lose this sport, man. So the best thing you can do, Arpit, is to just keep watching. That's what I say. Hi, Tanmay RKO. Anyway, as I was saying, guys, so that Mohammad Makhayev is a very good prospect. He's only 22 years old, fighting out of Manchester, but by way of Dagestan, Russia. So he F56. Okay. Uh, so then we have Jack Tank Shaw, who's moving up in a weight class. He's moving up to featherweight and fighting Makhwan Amir Khani, who's Kurdish but has moved to Finland as a young man. So he represents Finland now. So that's an impressive fight. But we shall start off with this fight, guys. We should just start off straight with. I'll put it up here. Give me a second. So, our first fight of the main card is. Hold on. Where is it? Is that clear, guys? Hold on. Give me a second. That's a little better. Okay. How do I do this now? Go like this? No, we can't go like that. Perfect. All right. The first fight of the main card is Marvin the Italian Dream Vittori versus Roman Dolidze, who's from Georgia. Roman Dolidze at this point of time is, I believe, ninth in the world in the middleweight. This is going to be taking place at 185 pounds, a middleweight fight. Middleweight's about 90 kilos, I'd say around 90 kilos. So Roman Dolidze is currently number 9 in the world. He's taking on Marvin Vettori, who's number 4 in the world. So as you can see here, the records are quite decent for this level. Ask me what you want, Tanmay. Don't worry. I'll read it and I'll tell you. Don't worry. So as you can see, Marvin Vettori's win-loss record is 18-6 and 1. Roman Dolidze has been on absolute rampage recently. He's 12-1 right now. As you can see by hold on. Can you see this? Oh, okay, perfect. As you can see, Marvin Vettori likes to his fights on average go the distance, because an average UFC fight is 15 minutes and main events are 25 minutes. So you can see he has a preference of going the distance. Whereas as you can see here, Roman Dolidze likes to finish his fights within 2 rounds. Recently, I have started my interest in rugby. Oh, that's nice, Lavanya. Lavanya, are you going to join me for the UFC watch along tomorrow? It's going to be at 2:30 in the morning. Do let me know, dude. It's going to be a long night for your boy tomorrow. Saturday, Sunday is very long nights for me. As you can see here, excuse me, as you can see, the reach is identical. 2-inch reach advantage here by Roman Dolidze. But as you can see, they're on opposite sided stances. So that's going to be quite a fun striking affair. They will not mirror each other. So it'll open up different avenues of attacks. You can also see Marvin Vittori is the much younger fighter. He's 5 years younger than him. We'll go down to the takes. Before we go down to the takes, I want to just show you the record. As you can see here, in his last 5 fights, Roman Dolidze is 4-1. He has lost to Trevin Giles. Now he's been on a 4-fight win streak, and I believe all these fights have been finishes, if I'm not mistaken. Just let me confirm that for you. I'm pretty sure they were at least 3 of them have been finishes. Yes, that would be correct. The Storiapoli fight, this one was a decision, and then he's been 3 finishes. Here, Hermanson has been a decision. Kevin Holland has been a decision. He lost to Adesanya by decision. Pete Costa by decision, upper weight class, and then lost to Robert Whittaker. So Marvin Vittori has lost to the number 1 and number 2 middleweights in the world. That's his losses. He has become very elite. Yeah, 2:30. My God, yes, I know, Arnab. That's not it. 11 o'clock tomorrow is Chelsea Everton. Then 2:30 is this stream. Then I have to do the 7:30 Arsenal stream, and then 10 o'clock United FA Cup quarterfinals. And then I'm going to take a nice break. चैन भाई ने मेरा बेनिफिका वाला कमेंट लिया था क्या? I don't know, dude. I have no idea. अभी रेन की वजह इलेक्ट्रिसिटी थी तो मैं जैन की बाकी की स्ट्रीम अच्छे से देख नहीं पाया. Yeah, man. Even I had to cut it short because I had to come here to my own stream. Yeah, it was fun, but while I was there, as you can see, guys, Marvin Vittori only loses to the elites of the middleweight class. He's 1-2 in his last three, whereas Dolidze has won his last four fights. And we'll just break this down a little bit. You know Santino Marella? Yes, I watch a lot of pro wrestling, Tanmay. Strikes landed per minute, as you can see, 4.20 strikes a minute, which is very high, higher than the above average of the UFC. And as you can see, 2.62 strikes by Roman Dolidze. The striking accuracy is 44% to 47%, but as you can see, Marvin Vittori absorbs a lot more strikes as well at 3.5 strikes per minute to 2 strikes. So basically, it's a give and take. They love to give and take. The stats are quite even here overall. Rey Mysterio is my goat. Nice. Joined the Hall of Fame on Monday. Defensive 59% and 57%. So as you can see, guys, the striking is quite even here based on the statistics. So it's a toss up here on who can do better than the other. Now in grappling, however, let's see what happens. 1.9 takedowns for Marvin Vittori, 2.12 takedowns for Roman Dolidze. His takedown accuracy is much higher. His takedown defense is much lower. So, and Marvin Vittori's takedown defense is incredibly high at 74%. Crystal Palace, the equals half truth. Submission averages per 15 minutes. As you can see there, 0.6 submissions tried per 15 minutes. Why is it per 15 minutes? Because each fight is on average can go to a maximum of 15 minutes, unless you're a main event. And you can see Roman Dolidze goes for the submissions, 2.1 submissions per fight, and that is actually pretty high. That being said, he has only had 3 submission wins in his career, but he's had 7 by knockout. These last 3 UFC fights have all been won by knockout, so it's tough. Do you think Zion is the Neymar of NBA? Sonak, it's too early to tell, man. They're too young, Sonak. They're too young, man. You gotta give them more time, dude. Someone the other, I think you ask me? Someone asked me on Giant Stream the other day, is Luka Doncic was did they say the new Jordan or the GOAT or something? I'm like, dude, you got to give him more time, man. You gotta give him more time. He's too young. So as you can see here, guys, by this, so this is my take on this fight. Now I'll back out of here. Oh, back out of this as well. Oh, wait, what is this? Okay. So in my opinion, guys, I think what's going to happen is Marvin Vittori is going to push the pace, and I think Roman Dolidze is going to not take a step back, and I think it's going to be quite an action-packed fight. And I do believe while Marvin Vittori is a very durable fighter, I do believe Roman Dolidze has the ability to do better. And I'm not really quite sure. I'm not really quite sure. This fight is in particular for me is quite a toss-up because Roman Dolidze is taking a big jump in competition, in my opinion, and Marvin Vittori is only fought the elite of the elite. So if Dolidze does manage to beat Marvin Vittori, it will be quite a feather in his cap because it will be an elite level win, if that makes sense. But I have a feeling Marvin Vittori's composure, his inability to get put away, his high takedown defense rate. I think Marvin Vittori is going to, I shouldn't say sail, but I think he's going to be in a he's going to win this fight comfortably by decision. So I'm going to go decision Marvin Vittori. Parag, what's up? What's up? Parag, any picks on Marvin Vittori and Roman Dolidze before we move on? I'll put it up here. Marvin Vittori, number 4 middleweight. Roman Dolidze, number 9 middleweight. Any preferences? Do let me know before I continue, because I'll move on to the next fight. वहाँ भी बारिश आ रही क्या गोवा में bro? 2 days ago after the Madrid game, it rained for about 20 minutes. Tanmay, it rained for about 20 minutes the other day. Where to watch UFC? The same place where you watch wrestling, Tanmay. It's on 10 Sports for free. By decision, same. Okay, so we got Vittori by decision. Parag saying that as well. Fantastic. Let's move on to the next one. Oh, actually, Parag, before we move on to the next one, tell me who do you think is going to win this fight? Mohammad Mokaev versus Jafel Filio. I've picked Mokaev to win by submission. He's going to fly up those rankings, dude. It's only a matter of time. He's only 22 years old. And Jack Shaw is moving up in weight and fighting Makwan Amir Khani even in featherweight, his featherweight debut. He's not going to drop down to bantamweight anymore. As you know, he broke into the top 15, lost to Ricky Simone really badly, and now he's moved up to middleweight, featherweight, I should say. Do you think Mokaev might win? Have you seen Mokaev fight? I've seen one fight of his. Pretty good. Mohammad Mokaev is very, very good. Undefeated as well, 9-0 and 1 no contest. Uh, the next fight's going to be a fun one. King Casey O'Neill taking on former flyweight title challenger Jennifer Maya. Before I tell you anything, we'll just look at the record first. How about that? As you can see here, Jennifer Maya has lost to Shevchenko, Chukagian, and Manon Fiorot. So why does this matter? This matters because Manon Fiorot is, I believe, the number one contender or number two contender. Shevchenko is number one, and Chukagian, I think, is three or four. She does have a win over Jessica Hai. She has beaten Marina Moroz. But as you can see, she is 2-3 in the last five. And she's lost to the elite of the competition. And here you can see King Casey O'Neill, 4-0 in the women's flyweight division. Shanna Dobson, Procopio, Antonina Shevchenko, and Roxanne Modafferi. So those were her wins. Quite impressive. 9-0, also undefeated. I'll just read out how she won her fights. She won her fight. Shanna Dobson was by TKO. Lara Procopio by technical submission, rear naked choke, which is when you go to sleep instead of tapping. So that was another finish. Antonina Shevchenko by TKO. And a split decision by Roxanne Modafferi. That was over a year ago now. She's also, I believe, she has retired since then. I'm not familiar with their style, so can't predict. Oh, you got to keep your eye on Mohammad Mokaev, dude, for flyweight. Off topic, Malangsa is the only one who can replace Maguire at United because both play false 4. That's a good one. Um, so as you can see, Casey O'Neill, obviously undefeated fighter. She's taking on her first elite title, elite challenger in Jennifer Maya. I believe they're both ranked in the top 10. Just give me a second, I'll check that as well. Got a lot of juggling to do here today when you're alone. King Casey O'Neill is number 12th in the division, and I believe Jennifer Maya is in the top 10. Jennifer Maya is number 8th in the division. So as you can see, a big step up for King Casey O'Neill. Let's take a look into it, right? So 29-1 and 9-0. She has almost 3 times the fights Casey O'Neill has. Lot of experience will towards Maya's side. Average fight time, she almost goes the distance quite regularly. 11:36 for Casey O'Neill. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Casey O'Neill has 5 finishes, 3 knockout, 2 submission, 4 decision. So there's a good chance she goes to a decision quite regularly. Half of her fights almost. And she's taking on Jennifer Maya, I believe is kind of the same actually. She has, in her 20 wins, she has 11 decisions. So again, half of the fight. She's very good with her jiu-jitsu. She had a fantastic performance against Valentina Shevchenko. Very hard-fought fight. Valentina Shevchenko had to earn that one for sure. It was a very, very difficult outing for Valentina that day. Quite. I mean, of course, now Valentina Shevchenko is no longer the champion, but that was a very tough fight given by Jennifer Maya. And as you can see, they're both orthodox fighters. Casey O'Neill is the quicker one. She has less average fight time, so she's a little more active. Granted, she has a lot less fights as well. You have to take that into account. But she has the big reach advantage, man. Big 5 inches is a big reach advantage, especially for women's fighting. If used correctly, it can be absolutely key. As you can see here, she's almost 10 years Sorry about that. She's almost 10 years older. Almost to the day, 9 years older. Sorry. Almost to the day, in fact. That's really weird. And as you can see, the output tells you the tale. Striking output, 4 strikes a minute. King Casey, 8.5 strikes a minute. Striking accuracy, obviously, because Jennifer Meyer has a grappling background, that Casey O'Neill obviously will be the more accurate striker, and it shows you in the striking accuracy percentages. Strike absorbed per minute. So Jennifer Maya is quite action packed, even though she might not necessarily be the best striker. As you can see, 4.35, she has a negative differential, which means she eats more punches than she gives out, which is not a good thing, but can be make for exciting fanfare, obviously. And as you can see here, King Casey O'Neill absorbs half the strikes of her output. So that is a very positive differential for her. Parag, everyone in the chat, do tell me who do you think is going to win. In the meantime, I'll just cover the grappling before I tell you. As you can see, takedowns per average 15 minutes. Jennifer Maya 0.30 takedowns per 15 minutes, but 2.60 takedowns for Casey O'Neill. So she is very balanced that way. She does have two submissions as well out of her 9 victories. Takedown accuracy, as you can see, again, 30% for Jennifer Maya, 44% for Casey O'Neill. It's showing that Jennifer Maya is not the best grappler based on these numbers, but she is quite grappling. She can be very grappling heavy if she wants to be. Takedown defense, 55% for Maya, 60% for Casey O'Neill. Submission averages per 15 minutes, 0.1 for Jennifer Maya, but 1.0 for Casey O'Neill. So as you can see, Casey O'Neill is just very, very active in general. I think Casey is winning this one, yes. So what I'm going to say is I think Casey O'Neill wins this by decision. Jennifer Maya is a tough out. She likes to beat, she's a grimy fighter, dirty fighter, in the sense of she likes to like get in your face, stay in your face, create pressures. And I think Casey O'Neill will be up for the task, and I think she's going to keep her at bay. But I don't see a finish in this one, if I'm being honest with you. I think it will go the distance. Casey O'Neill with a decision win. Then we have the next one is, here we go. Dhiren, sorry bro, I didn't get your notification. That's all right, Dhiren. That's all right. No worries. Happens. I didn't get that right. Give me a second. Here we go. Gunny Nelson versus Brian Bam Bam Barberena. This is going to be an absolute barnstorm of a fight. Brian Barberena comes forward, comes forward, comes forward. Decent grappling, prefers to strike and make it a walk. Gunnar Nelson, a point karate fighter, a national champion in point fighting karate. A Enzo Gracie black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Yes, black belt under Enzo Gracie. You heard that correct, people. Part of the SBG team in Ireland, good friends with Conor McGregor. Obviously, he trains now in Iceland himself. He has his own training facilities. But I think you will see John Kavanagh in his corner probably. Very well-rounded fighter. The UFC event is tomorrow night, right? Yes, it is, Dhiren, after the Chelsea game. I don't know how I'm going to do it, dude, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to be absolutely gone. And then Sunday, I have back-to-back watch-alongs again. It's going to get quite tiring for me tomorrow. So as you can see here, Barberena is 3-2. Lost a tight decision to, not I shouldn't say tight, lost a very convincing decision to Rafael dos Anjos. And as you can see, Gunnar Nelson, after losing to Gilbert Burns and Leon Edwards, who are in the top 5 of the current weight division, has a win over Takashi Sato to bounce back last year. He came back last year and he beat Takashi Sato. So as you can see here, let's go by through the grappling. As you can imagine, that's exactly what it's showing here. Don't do the Chelsea one, bro. Take care. Nah, man, I've already agreed to do it. I made people make the thumbnails. You know, I've troubled all these people to do this, so I have to kind of do it, dude. I'm probably not gonna feel well, but we'll push through, dude. It's okay. I have 2 weeks to take a break, so I'm not that worried. I ain't doing any England watch along because of that clown dude. So I'm not really going to. Strikes landed per minute 1.83 for Gunny Nelson. He's quite a reserve striker. He takes point fighting karate, so he's never ever in a rush. He blitzes more than he charges forward, if that makes sense. And 5.92 strikes per minute for Brian Barberina, because that's what he is. He is an absolute brawler. God, excuse me. Striking accuracy. See, he's the more accurate striker, and he lands less per minute. He focuses a lot more on accuracy of his strikes, much like a karateka would do. 60% striking accuracy and 48% striking accuracy with Brian Barberina, because he's a lot more reckless with his striking. Strikes absorbed per minute. Again, Gunnar Nelson has a negative differential, 3.05 strikes per minute. And Brian Barberina actually has a positive differential, which is 4.90 strikes per minute. Defense is striking defense 50% for Gunnar Nelson and 44% for Brian Barberina. Have to watch this card live, yeah, bro. RIP to your sleep, by the way, Nathan, for Sunday. Yeah, dude. I know. No. I don't know how I'm gonna stay awake, man. Finally people realize what I've been through the last 15 years of watching NBA. It's gonna be really unbearable, dude. Don't even want to be awake at that time, but I will be. Grappling takedown average for 15 minutes for Gunnar Nelson 1.86, 0.16 for Brian Barberina. Barberina has no desires to taking this on to the ground. Takedown accuracy of 50%, and here's where his Brazilian Jiu Jitsu credentials shine for Gunnar Nelson. 60% takedown accuracy, 25% takedown accuracy for Brian Barberina, 66% takedown defense, 54% for Brian Barberina, 0.9 submissions, 0.3 submissions for Gunnar Nelson. What happened to the 8 p.m. matches? I'm not doing them, dude. I can't do anything tomorrow, man. I'll be totally gone otherwise. There are 8:30 matches though. There are. I'm just not watching them. So what does this tell you guys? This tells you that Gunnar Nelson is going to try take this on the ground, cut open his guard, try and get a submission, or he's just going to try and control him on the ground, wear him out until he gets an opportunity to sink in a submission. That's his plan. Brian Barberina's plan is to trudge forward, create a war, make people feel awkward, put pressure on them, and try to get them tired, and maybe get a finish. So that's what I think is going to happen, guys. I think Brian Barberina is the fresher fighter. I normally like Gunnar Nelson, but I can't see it happening. So I'm going to go Gunnar Nelson loses by decision. Brian Barberina, 15-minute war. I think the only way Gunnar Nelson wins this is if he taps him out. I don't know if Gunnar Nelson wants to wrestle with him. So I'm going to say Brian Barberina, exhausting decision for over Gunnar Nelson. That's what I think is going to happen. Just give me a second, guys. Hope you can hear me. Sorry. Gunner by decision, Paraga. I'm going the other way. I'm going to go Barberina by decision. I think he's going to. I think Gunnar Nelson has missed way too much fights, too many years not fighting. And I think Barberina is going to put pressure on him. I'll be very happy if Gunnar Nelson wins, but I'm going to go with the fighter that's been more consistently fighting. So Brian Barberina with decision. Could be a finish. I don't think it will be though. Now we have our last two fights. We have the co-main event of the evening. We have Justin the Highlight GAETHJE versus Rafael Ataman FIZIEV. So Rafael FIZIEV is Uzbekistani born, but Kazakhstan. He lives in Kazakhstan. Pretty sure I said that correctly. As you can see here, Rafael Fiziev, let's see the record first. 12-1 by Rafael Fiziev, 23-4 by Justin Gaethje. As you can see, five straight wins by Rafael Fiziev. Three victories for for Michael Chandler. And as you can see, it's against Donald Cerrone, uh, Tony Ferguson, and Michael Chandler, which was an absolute war, an absolute war. And would love another one of those actually, but this fight should be a dog fight, indeed. So we'll go through the stats before I'm done. Yes, we can see 5'11 Justin Gaethje clearly has the height advantage. Rafael Fiziev, a very, very short, compact man, but has 1 inch reach advantage, which I don't think will necessarily make a difference in this case. Strike landed per minute 7.46 by Justin Gaethje, 4.81 by Ataman. Striking accuracy 60% to 50% favor of Gaethje. 7.85 strikes absorbed, which is again a negative differential between Justin Gaethje. And you will see a problem here after I finish with reading the stats out. 4.86 marginal, very fractional negative differential there. He basically gives as good as he gets in case of Rafael Fiziev. Defense 55% to 50%, not the best, not the worst, pretty average, much like the percentages say. Zero takedowns per 15 minutes. He has not attempted one takedown in the UFC, Justin Gaethje, not one takedown. And Rafael Fiziev, 0.36 takedowns a minute. He's more of a striker, so he likes to focus on that. Takedown accuracy 0%, 40% for Ataman, Rafael Fiziev. Takedown defense 75% takedown defense by Justin Gaethje, 92% takedown defense by Rafael Fiziev. Crazy. Anyway, I'm gonna give my FIFA squad 6-3. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. If anyone wants to see that, that's Suman's squad for FIFA Mobile right now. So here's what my take is, guys. I think what's going to happen here is Justin Gaethje and Rafael Fiziev just trade bombs with each other. Rafael Fiziev is going to have to be careful of that the leg kick, and Justin Gaethje is going to have to try and prevent overcommitting himself in the striking fixture, because I think he might get more than what he's bargained for this time. So I'm going to go ahead and say Rafael Fiziev by knockout. I think Fiziev finally achieves a ranking of elite status with this win, because once you get certain wins, you just become elite. And I think this is the win Rafael Fiziev needs to get to be considered elite. Now I'm picking Rafael Fiziev to win in 2 rounds. I think he's going to catch Justin Gaethje. I have a bad feeling about that. I think Gaethje is getting slapped. Wow, Parag agrees with me, I guess. So here we go again. Wait, hold on. It's not good. Much better. Excuse me. Is this better? This looks a lot better. Okay. And here we have the main event: Leon Rocky Edwards versus the Nigerian Nightmare KAMARU Usman at Edwards' home turf in London. As you can see here, 23-1 no contest by Leon Edwards and 20-2 by KAMARU Usman. Almost identical records. As you can see, KAMARU Usman likes to go the distance because he's been in many main events over the years as of recent date. And as you can see, his strategy is to wear out opponents, drag them into deep water, and leave them helpless there. Leon Edwards is more of a technical striker, not necessarily the most powerful striker you see, but he is He has decent power, but I don't think he knows how much power uh, Leon has. So I think Leon's ability to knock out Kamaru Usman was a great shock, and I think that's what made it a fantastic fight ending, because we just didn't know he had it in him. And as you can see, Leon Edwards has the height advantage, but the reach disadvantage. 2 inches reach disadvantage to Leon Edwards. Southpaw stance for Leon Edwards. He can switch stances. Kamaru can, and that makes him even more dangerous. And as you can see, Leon is born in 91, and about 4.5 years later, and some change later, before I should say, Kamaru Usman is born. And as you can see, well, I don't need to see the point of doing this, but 4-1 in his last five was Usman, and obviously 4-1 no contest, which was by Belal Muhammad. Refused to take a rematch with Muhammad, so he moved on to other things, and now he is champion. So let's go in here and we break this down to our final fight here. Strikes landed per minute 2.59, strikes landed per minute to 4.55 strikes landed by Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman weaponizes his cardio. He takes he pushes the pace, he pours out the punishment, especially in the earlier rounds, and he takes advantage of his cardio that way. He weaponizes, and therefore you can see a higher output. Striking accuracy is pretty much even, 50% and 53%. Strike absorbed per minute is 2.28 strikes absorbed per minute to his son, 2.56 strikes absorbed per minute. Quite fractional. Uh, Both positive differential. However, I will say Kamaru Usman has a much bigger, higher potential difference here. And the grappling makes it interesting, because the grappling as takedown averages is 1.39 for Leon, 3 for Kamaru. Hmm, interesting. Just had a thought there. Sorry, I was just dreaming in a second. Takedown average for Leon is 1.39, but 3 takedowns for Kamaru Usman. That's an average of 1 takedown around. Most fights are 3 round fights. You can do the math there. It's very accurate, very high number for takedowns per 15 minutes. Takedown accuracy, however, Leon struggles because he is naturally not a wrestler. 33% to Kamaru's 48% takedown accuracy. Takedown defense, 68%. He has improved greatly after the very first fight, because that's how he lost the fight. Got taken down 3 times and basically held. 68% for the champ and 97% takedown defense by Kamaru Usman. Only not 100 because Leon Edwards took him down in the first round of the last fight. So as you can see, submissions is 0.4 to 0.1 average. So here's my take on this, guys, before anyone tells me their predictions. I think what's going to happen here is Kamaru Usman has to make a really important decision this time. Does he want the belt back, or does he want to prove a point? Kamaru Usman landed no takedowns in the fifth round and ended up getting knocked out with about 90 seconds left in the fifth round. Leon Edwards in the corner, there's great evidence of it if you go back and see the video. Him basically looking dejected, giving up, not looking at his coach, basically throwing the towel in. But if you see preparation for the fight, Leon Edwards practices that move, specifically practices that move. And, that's what I'm trying to say. Kamaru Usman really needs to focus on the wrestling here. Kamaru Usman needs to just pour out the wrestling. He cannot take a break in the fifth round like he did. He thought he was coasting. I thought Leon won the first round, lost the next three. He can't afford to coast. He's champion. He is at home. He needs to keep it tight. And Kamaru Usman needs to absolutely pour it on. He needs to take him down as much as he can, tie him out much as he can, put a stamp on the statement, as quickly as he can. Okay. And I think this is what exactly what's going to happen. I think Kamaru Usman is going to use his wrestling, nullify Leon Edwards as many opportunities he gets to do so. And I think Kamaru Usman is going to get enough takedowns, is going to have enough output, will not be fighting at elevation like they did in Utah. I think he's come very prepared. He's not been talking too much. He's just been focusing on the fight. He has obviously been humiliated, like Parag is saying, Kamaru Usman by decision, hopefully shushing London. Also, Edwards getting his ass whooped. I agree with Parag. I'm going to go ahead and say fourth round submission by Kamaru Usman and new and two-time welterweight champion in the UFC. I want Rocky Edwards to win. I really, really do. But this style matchup is just not in his benefit, and I can't see that happening. So I'm going to say Usman by fourth round submission. So here are my picks, guys. My picks for the fights are Vittori gets it by decision. I think O'Neal is going to finish it, but most likely it will be a decision. Gunnar Nelson, Brian Barberina, there could be a finish, but I have a feeling it's just going to be a war. And I think Barberina is just going to outwork Gunnar Nelson. In the co-main event, I think Rafael FIZIEV knocks out Justin Gaethje, and in the main event, I think the Nigerian Nightmare gets the strap back. He shushes the world instead of shocks the world, and new once again for the second time, UFC welterweight champion Kamaru Usman takes revenge, puts the trilogy to bed, and then we move onwards and upwards. Of course, Colby Covington is the backup. I don't know if anyone knows that, but Colby Covington has weighed in and has made weight as the backup. So there was a possibility of that happening. And I wish everybody good luck on the card. I would thank everybody who came and joined me today. Parag, thank you so much. Please join me for the stream. I would love to have you there. Those are my picks for UFC 286, guys. I'm sorry if I was a little laggy. My brain, I've been finding it very difficult to sleep recently. That's no excuse though. And I will do better next time. Don't worry. I'll be hydrated and I'll be ready to go next time. Thank you everyone for joining me here. Parag, thank you so much. I do apologize if I was sluggish, but I hope my analysis was somewhat decent. I've been struggling to get sleep, man. It's a long story, but yes, definitely join, bro. Love to have you there, Parag. Thank you. And everyone, do like, share, subscribe to the channel, Parag. If you know anyone that's into UFC, do send them my way. We'll watch the card together tomorrow, 2:30. It'll be like kind of like watching a Champions League game, I guess, but still an hour later. Uh, Take care, guys. I will see you tomorrow for the Chelsea Everton game at 11 o'clock Indian Standard Time. And then we'll follow it up with a little bit of a break, and then we'll do UFC 286, the trilogy in London, the Nigerian Nightmare versus Rocky, Ataman versus the Highlight, and Gunny versus Bam Bam Barberena. Let's see what happens. Those top three cards closing out the night. Absolutely exciting. A lot of English talent, a lot of UK talent in there, a lot of European talent in there. We're going to see what Europe's been up to recently. Lovely card to showcase it. Not at the best timing, but we move and we will watch it. Yes, good analysis and analysis. You're the only one doing this for UFC. I try, man, Parag. I'm not the best at it, but I love talking about it, man, and I hope it shows. So that being said, guys, I will not waste any of your time. The plan was to go for an hour. I think I finished in about 40, 45, 50 minutes. So that's perfect. I'm going to see you guys anyway in about 28 hours to watch it live. No point dragging this along. Thank you very much. Thank everyone for watching. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing the video. It is great motivation for me. We just passed 500 subs, which is fantastic for someone like me who didn't even know if he was going to get 100 subs. So it's absolutely fine. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining in. Take care. Good night, and I will see you tomorrow for the fights. Peace out, guys, and good night.